Man here. There we go. Hi. Did you think that your thing was broken? Anyways, my hair, it just does weird things, doesn't it? It's just floofy. I don't know. Oh well, whatever. I'm gonna get some hair gel, I guess. Now, what can we do? It's 9:30 p.m. So let's just do a short video here. This one is only an hour and 3 minutes long. So if I respond to it, we'll be here for the rest of the year, I guess. And that's what we're gonna do. Sure, why not? Now this guy is a coward. He has no comments on, and none of his videos have comments. And I was trying to figure out like what kind of weird channel it is, because he's got these like overviews, AI, and all these like presentations. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. But it's none of them have comments on. But this is a thing, and I want to talk about it. So I'm going to do that. Hopefully you can see the screen because it's pretty small. And let's see if that gets a little bit bigger. A little bit bigger. Okay. So we're starting like a little bit into the video at 6 minutes 27 seconds time index, and he's already presented. I'm pretty sure it's not AI, otherwise I wouldn't be covering it. The ontological theory, and hey, props where prop is due. He's telling us what the words mean, which is nice, and he says, he's making the argument really simple, which can be a problem. Depends. If the people already know this argument, then a concise version of it's fine. But depending on who this is aimed for, that could be why not give them the full argument? But in fact, why not first teach them logic or tell them to, have informal logic understanding before you tell them these arguments? But so I have this, of course, in MS Paint, and so I can so I can edit it there. No, Tilting, they never even responded to me at all. It's really cool. So Tilting asks about this person that was in the chat room where we were chilling out, and I said yes or no, and do you want to come and talk to me? And I said, hey everyone, watch this. They don't respond to me. They did not respond to me at all. It was like they were responding selectively to who they wanted to and not responding directly to any one person. And when I said directly to them, they couldn't even say no to me. So really cowardly. So anyways, and this guy's also a coward because no comments on. But, all right. So the ontological, none of these are theories, by the way. That's not the word. They're all arguments. So, these are not theories. Let's get rid of that. And yeah, if you can think of something, the short version of this is really bad. Well, the longer version is also bad. So the longer version is because existing is conceived of as being greater than not existing. Then if you conceive of something that is the greatest thing and also existing is better than not existing, then that thing must exist. And of course, many reductio ad absurdums exist for this. The greatest pancake doesn't exist. But I say, you know what? That's fine. I'll grant this one, tentatively speaking. And I'll grant it in full. The problem is the highest thing that I can conceive of is also one that shows itself. So that pretty much means that this whole argument's negated. ELF. So that to me is the greatest being would show itself to all humanity. Anything less than that's lesser of a being. So therefore, that greatest being should exist and should show itself to all humanity. But since it doesn't, then the argument must therefore fail. Axiological judgment, and it's kind of like the moral argument. Every human being has some sense of right and wrong embedded in us. Nope, not every, because there are people without any sense of right or wrong. And that's, the sociopath, psychopath, whatever. People just born without the ability to have emotions at all. So that's wrong. And then, some rely on ever-changing culture, people or whatever to set the standard, but they have their limits. Could we all benefit for someone or something more reliable to set the moral standards? More reliable than what? Than the political institution or people? But that's all we have for real. The only thing that we have that in actuality is people and political institutions or culture, which is just people. So it's really, political institutions also people. So really we only have people. Maybe now we have AI, but AI is driven by people too, to some degree. So there isn't anything more reliable unless you're going to talk about systems that people develop, like logic, where maybe you can formulate a logical system, and that would still be people. But this question is supposed to somehow lead you to the conclusion that you're supposed to say yes to this, I guess, and then that would then somehow mean God. But that doesn't, again, by shortening this argument down to its bare essentials, you leave a lot out. But just going based on what he wrote or what's written on the screen. So even if we could or benefit from someone, there is no something, there's just someone. Something, I guess you could say, something be a system. That doesn't mean that it does exist, even if we could benefit from it. And also benefiting from it doesn't necessarily make it that's a good thing or that it's a true thing. It's just beneficial. And then it's interesting that it has this common objection. I have to ask, how do you know that this is a common objection? We don't want to change the way we live and be judged by anyone. Well, but then that's not true. If we are saying yes, our standards need to be changed, then we are saying, or that we could use better standards, then we are saying that we will be judged by others. And even if we don't want to be judged by anybody, then the only way to do that is to be a hermit. So I guess you don't have to deal with anyone, right? And then this interesting thing appears. If there's no final judgment, what we do ultimately matter? Well, there is no, I don't know if there is or isn't a final judgment. I don't believe that there is. And what we do matters to us, but ultimately, no would be the answer. And but this is a appeal to consequence. So already we have wrong 1, wrong 2. This argument's broken. This just basically is asking a question that doesn't lead us to any conclusion necessarily about whether the thing is true or not. So it's a non sequitur. So that's another error. So it's like 3 errors, 4 errors, because appeal to consequence. So 4 in total. So -4 for just this slide. Okay. All right. Let's go back to the video now that we finished at, and let's see what the next slide has to say. Because I guess are you going to cover these, or is he going to just tell us more stuff?
Yeah. Okay. So the third theory is the cosmological theory.
There we go.
Now,
all right, so we're just gonna skip through. We're not gonna, I just want to get this on the screen. I don't want to. Oopsie. Okay, well, let's get that on the screen, shall we? All right. I don't like the new way of screen copying my screen, but whatever. It is what it is. Let's see. Get the screen all on here. Okay. What's this guy? Somebody in here. Stupid Monkey Philosophy is in here. In the house. And Captain Dave is in the house. Well, yes. Okay, so the going back just for a second to the ontological. The ontological argument is stupid. But yeah, it's basically if you can conceive of the greatest being ever, then that being to be the greatest would have to exist because existing apparently somehow is greater than not existing. And this was set forth by Augustine or so yeah, it's a bad argument because like, well, what about a pancake? Couldn't I conceive of the greatest pancake ever? And since existing is better than not existing, then it would exist. And they go, well, it only works for the greatest conceivable being. Why? Why would it only work for beans? Why wouldn't it work for pancakes? What about the greatest conceivable money I can think of? Like, I don't know, trillion. Well, I mean, I guess, I mean, like, I don't know, Googleplex. Googleplex is a big number. Googleplex amount of money. I don't know of a bigger number, like mechanically speaking, than that off the top of my head. I'm sure I could find one online, but that's a good amount of money. Googleplex amount of money in my bank account, and therefore it existing is greater than not existing, so I should have that. But I don't, because that's not how reality works. But yes, if your conception of a dead sea squirrel with a rainbow tail that squirts glitter is the greatest conception of that squirrel, then it should exist by that argument. But it doesn't, so the argument fails. I would never write that down for sake of posterity. Yeah, and I feel kind of bad because like the guys, even though they're a coward and stupid and all that, his argument's what matters and it's broken, but ontological. Let me get the actual argument up. Yeah, so God is a being that none which greater can be conceived. So existence is reality is greater than existence in the mind alone. So if it's greatest conceivable being, then it has to exist in reality because a being that only exists in thought wouldn't be the greatest. A being that exists in reality would be greater. So therefore it must exist. So that's the the argument as put forth classically. And yeah, it's stupid. Anyways, all right. So cosmological theory. All right, let's go here. All right, cosmos translated for Greek is all-encompassing creation. Well, okay, sure, but we can't say that I'm not sure that is relevant, but I'm glad that it's there. I'm wondering. So we're intelligently created. No, actually, there's no proof of that. No proof. So we're not accidents. Well, what do you mean by this? Because like there's 10 billion however many thousands of sperm that could have been me that weren't me. So isn't that an accident? I mean, even if I was planned to be born, that so this is at best well, I'd say half truth, but you know what, I don't even know, so I'm going to say no, none of this. So scientists agree on the laws of nature. Scientists spent centuries discovering, understanding, explaining knowledge, not creating them. What the bleep? Huh? Yeah. What? Huh? Who's suggesting that the laws of nature are created at all? That's not a thing. You're assuming creation there. Assuming conclusion. Assumes conclusion. So that's a logical error. So that's like what, 1, 2, 3 already. So -3 already. Space time matter. If there would matter but no space time, when and where would it be put? I don't know. But this is irrelevant. So, for time to exist, something timeless must have created it. This is an assertion without argument. So, bald assertion. So that's like 3, 4, 5, -5. In the beginning, okay, this is just a quote from your book. So that's circular. So that's -6. Are laws created by lawgivers? Laws in nature sense doesn't mean law in this sense. This is equivocation. I'm going to count that. And that makes 7. 7 errors. Now, I did forget how many errors we had last time. So let's see. Damn it. Can it go back further enough? Nope. Now, come on. Control Z. Come on. Control Z. Whee! Come on. Go. Control Z. Go. 4. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, 11. Somebody keep track of this. 11 errors already. All right. So, wow, 2 slides and 11 errors already of logic. All right. Let's play percentages. So yes, let's do this. Here we go. Keep going. I want to see this whole.
It would be 200 if they're accumulating Jupiter's load and randomly 120 yourself.
Okay. All right. Let's see. This is obviously meant for some church or something to show to people that already believe nonsense, I guess. Because obviously it's not meant for me to critique or anyone to think about. But we're gonna do that anyways. So play the percentages. Why? I don't know what that means. What do you mean by this? I don't know. That's weird. Atheist Stephen Hawking wrote, if the universe expansion rate at the Big Bang had 1 millionth variance, it would have collapsed. Well, citation. So we don't have a citation of where that came from, so we don't know if he actually did say that. And so what? Is this an appeal to authority of one? I mean, he is a cosmologist, so at least he's in the right field. But this is a so what? So what? I don't know. And this is lack of citation. So I press F to doubt. And I'd have to look it up, which shifts the burden to me. And I don't want to look up if Stephen Hawking wrote this. So I'm going to say this is a failure to provide an argument, which is FA. And then that's going to be like that's a formal fallacy. So that's its own number now. So we're going to have to keep track of 2 different numbers now. But yeah, so anyways, so what? Anyways, Earth's tilt, 10% variance would inhibit the 4 seasons from enabling archaeological credas. Really? 10% variance? I don't know about that. Citation? Required. So no citation, this is bald assertion. In fact, this is a bald assertion. This is a bald assertion. So is this, and this, and this. They're all bald assertions. Okay. So let's just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. So 9 bald assertions because you had no citations. No citations. And we know that if we look at the description of the video, Do you think that there's any citations in the description of the video? Of course, there's no citations in the description of the video. It says this overview poses a series of logical questions to ask about the existence of God as well as the reliability of His written word. Well, these aren't logical questions. These are assertions that you've made that you'd have to back up with citations, which you didn't do. But I don't. 10% variance of Earth tilt. Let's see. I bet this is like some creation nonsense. Let's see. Okay, there'd be extreme. If it was tilted more, there'd be extreme seasons. And with more tilt or mild, we'd have milder seasons with less tilt. I don't see extreme seasons. Summers become hotter and winters colder because sunlight angle changes. Decreased tilt would be milder seasons, and so we'd still be here. That's what AI suggests. At any rate. Oh, here, look, Cora says that too. Let's see. If Earth only tilted by 10 degrees, the climate would be pretty much the same. Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's Cora, though. I mean, let's see. Oh, the Earth is already tilted 31.5 inches. Okay. So let's see. Basically, I don't see. Let's see. Here we go. World building stack exchange. Oh, that's like a question and answer form. Let's see. I don't see anything that suggests that this is true at all online. I would think that'd be like, something that would pop up. I guess we're gonna have to rely on ChatGPT. If the Earth's tilt changed by more than 10 degrees, would that affect us make life? How did it say? Our food. Let's see. Let's ask. A tilt of change more than 10% would not make food growing impossible, but it might make it very difficult. Okay, that's good enough for me. All right, so no. So he's a liar. Okay, cool. So I was right, and all this is no citations, and not only is it's just bald assertions with no citations, but all 9 of these are wrong. So, and what this would be at best would be an appeal to meaningless statistics, which is another logical fallacy that we're going to add. So that's 10, I guess. So then what was the number from before I said to remember? Oh, 11? Wait, did I remember? Was that just it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 10. Okay, so 10 plus 11 is it's 21. I'm not stupid. Oh, okay, maybe I'm a little stupid, but anyways, all right. So he's got 21 fallacies, logical fallacies so far. So that's great, and none of these were logical questions. These aren't asking questions. They're making statements about reality. Like you can't even label your presentation correctly. Like, I don't know. Just say, is there a God? What is God? Like just let's just do that presentation instead. Like, well, what is God? In fact, I have a blog about that. So I'd rather read my own blog than this. That's me. Okay, that's not the right one. Here we go. Okay. I found it. No, we're going to do this. Why not? I did a poll where nobody's reading my blog, so apparently I'll read my blog. Whatever, fine. Or do this. This is a better presentation than what he had. What's that? I heard you. Am I loud? Okay. All right. God. What is a God? What things must something have to be called a god? Must the thing in question have power to make a universe? Must it have all knowledge? Must it always exist? Why? Let me talk about a few God examples. So already I'm actually asking questions here. And these are meant to be thoughtful questions. I'm not just, these aren't redundant questions. These are questions I'm legitimately asking. Like, what is it to be God? Like, I know what people say about God, but why does that make a thing God? Well, I don't know. So to the non-believer, these are I still an interesting question. Even, it's like, I don't believe in this thing because it doesn't have a concrete definition per se. But to think about this and be like, well, let me think about that. Okay, I can do that. I'm like, well, what is this thing? Well, what would it be? What would it be like? And then try to fill in that blank. Whoopsie. Okay. So anyways, let me talk about a few God examples. This is Hari Shizumiya, and she's God, basically. And if you haven't watched this anime, go watch it. Don't watch the second season. You have been warned. Do not watch the second season. Or if you do, only watch the first 2 episodes and watch the 3rd episode once and then skip to the end. But and then the movies are okay. But anyways, this is a God that's not aware of its God. Yeah. So in this world, it's very possible that Haruhi is God. She's made the reality. It's all around her. And perhaps last Thursdayism. She wants the world to not be normal. But if the world isn't normal, then she would be aware that she's God and thus not be happy. If God's unhappy, then the world as we know it will probably end. So this is the melancholy, however you say that, the sadness. The anime asks the question, what does God want? And I think the answer is given when Kion kisses her. God wants or needs love. And the kiss resets everything to normal again. Although it's not normal for aliens, time travelers, and espers to exist in reality, but Hari must never know this, that they do exist, and the careful balance of her keeping her happy and unaware is put on Kion, who must love her enough to put up with her insanity that she's causing him. So God's not aware that it's God, and he has to keep kissing her and loving her, no matter what insanity he goes through. And keeping her unaware of it. And anytime it goes too far, he has to do something to reset her knowledge. How would we know if we were in a world like this? You might say there's no aliens, time travelers are espers, but then again, you're not the main protagonist. You're not Kion. So he's the only one that's aware of that. So you're also unaware of the true nature of reality. So maybe God got bored, and the reality we hear is the result. Then God erases murmuring that it is God. How would you possibly know if that wasn't the case? So, in this scenario of this anime, could be our reality for all we know. We're not Kion. We're not the main protagonist. Somebody somewhere, maybe it's a guy, maybe it's a girl, maybe it's both. I don't know, whatever, and that's the person that God wants to love them. And it's just one person. The rest of us are all just backdropping for, cosmetic reasons. Our lives are nothing but, a side note. It's only there because it needs to be there to seem normal for God to operate and not know that it's God. It thinks that it was born and will live and die just like everybody else, but it won't because it's God. But it doesn't want to know that because it's bored. You wouldn't know. There's no way to know. So could that be God? Sure. Q. Of course, Q is from Star Trek. God's a trickster. Oh, you'd like for me to connect the dots for you, lead you from A to B to C so that your puny mind could comprehend? How boring. Q from Star Trek Next Generation was shown to do things that no human could do, that no technology could do. Q could very well be a god or the god. If Q did have the powers he claims to have, then all bets are off. If Q said it was God and did the sort of things that defy understanding, how could you say it wasn't God? Q is, of course, a trickster, or at least a tester, or, well, insane. We get told by Q and others, but who knows? If Q really is at a level beyond us, it could simply lie about its own past and its own abilities. There's simply no way to know. If this is God, then we're mere playthings, and perhaps we are. How could we hope to know? So again, this is a scenario where if God's just a trickster, messing with us, playing with us, how would we know? If that's what God is, then that's what God is. And unless God appears to you, unless you know that it's God, then why would you believe it, right? So humanity. We are you and you are us. Stop playing games. By the way, these are links to things. That's why they have the little thing. So, and this is to Hopkins' Ill Mind 7, one of my favorite songs. Humans are God, in that we made God in our image, because we're pattern-seeking creatures, because we lack all knowledge, because the mundane world is frightening or dull, because others said that there was a God, because we were taught this, because people believe it. God is you. You are God. We are God. God is nothing more than our own brain. When you pray, you're talking to you. When you worship, you're worshiping yourself. Religion takes you on this ride of promises that it can't prove and promises answers it can't provide. God fills a role of not wanting to be alone, not wanting all this to not matter. God is the answer when you have no answer. Here there be dragons. Here there be gods. Goblins, orcs, dragons do not exist. And that really doesn't upset anyone. Yet when you say God does not exist, suddenly you have a debate on your hands. If we're all God, then all God ideas are made from us and by us. And this would explain why God never does anything that nature cannot do. This would explain why random things, bad and good, can happen. This would explain the mysteries we have. This wouldn't explain the mysteries we have, but neither does invoking God. For perhaps we should say, save a step, Carl Sagan, and learn to love the mystery, to say we do not know now, but one day we might, to not insert God into the gaps. Yet, people think there really is a God, that it isn't humanity, that it's out there, unproven, untestable, non-observed, abstract, and strange, that you must work to find God. And when perhaps God is right there, it's in you, and it is you. And if true, we must be the best possible God we could be. I suspect we'll do better than the made-up gods, but we might just be as bad or worse. Or maybe it's a lobster. Of course, that links to the lobsters. So, that was my look at my version of this seminar on God, if you will. I think it's better than what he came up with because, it's more poetic. It's not, it's got a few questions. I don't know if it has any logical fallacies per se, but if it does, let me know. I'll point them out for sure. Hello, Lod, it's me again. Yeah, exactly. So, and I'm an atheist, but I'm able to think about God and I don't make these really crappy arguments. Like I'm able to play with this idea and say, well, if that's what God is, okay, fine. I don't have any evidence that it is. And that's kind of the thing. Is like the best I can do is say, well, it's probably humanity, but I leave it up to the reader to decide, what to think about that. Yeah, maybe I'll read more from my blog since nobody is reading it apparently. No, not now. Let's go back to the video with 21 logical fallacies so far, and see if this guy can make a comeback. I don't think he will, but let's just for fun, until I'm sick and tired of this. Super pure mutations. Yeah. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, Tilt, says Jacqueline. Hi, Jacqueline. All right, let's get through this. Let's get DNA discovery predated Charles Darwin. Did it? I don't know. Wait, did DNA? Anything he writes, I'm going to doubt. Wait, no, that's not true. That's not true. Well, the discovery of DNA didn't predate Charles Darwin, came later. It existed, but he didn't know about it. Origin of Species was written in 1859, and the discovery of DNA was by Friedrich Minster in 1869. So 10 years afterwards. So when this thing says that, it gets it wrong. How surprising is that? It gets a fact of reality wrong. Well, we didn't see that coming, did we, anybody? All right, let's put it on the screen of MS Paint. Let's take it out. Let's do it. Let's take it to the back of the barn and shoot it, shall we? Wait, where's my window? There you are. Okay, let's do it. All right. Well, the discovery that predated no. You mean the DNA was predating, but the discovery was made after he was around by 10 years. So this is malformed. So I'm going to call that malformed, which isn't necessarily a logical fallacy, but it just sucks. It's just bad. So that's a formal fallacy. So that's two formal fallacies. So yeah. By the way, a formal fallacy, if anyone doesn't know, is basically the mechanics of logic. And when you get a formal fallacy wrong, it just proves that you don't know what the hell you're doing. Anyways, geneticists have traced DNA back to a single man and woman. Yeah, that's correct. Well, kind of. No, this is okay. What? No, okay. No, they haven't traced DNA back to a single man and woman. They trace the chromosome to them, and so this isn't quite right, and it's not quite wrong either. It's not wrong enough for me to call it an outright lie, but it is wrong enough to call it a half truth. So that's one. Okay, all right. 1950 sequence hypothesis, which said four subunits along the interior function like alphabetical coordinates, written test or digital coders software name. That's nice. Okay. And like what? Evolutionary biologist Rick says it functions like a machine code. Okay. So cherry picking, and also no citation. I just realized that the abbreviation of cherry picking could be seen as something else. So I'm going to add a H in there. So cherry picking. Oh, God. Giant tech pioneer Bill Gates, doesn't matter what he says, wrong authority. So appeal to wrong authority, and don't care. They both remind us of computer programmers, not the computer programmer. He's outside of it. False analogy. So that's what, let's see, 3, 4, 5 now. This info-bearing molecule is roughly however many letters long, a single strand, and to plural them back, and can fit into 2 tablespoons. Okay, so irrelevant. I'm going to call that irrelevant and put that at 6. And the probability of sequenced DNA letters being formed randomly is 1 in 10 to the power of 600. Citation required. Also, it's not purely random, so that's a half truth. So we've got lack of citation, which is another formal fallacy that puts that at 3, and then that's You also didn't say this the correct way, so that's another half truth. So that brings us to 7. If a computer was product of mindless, unguided, random process, would you trust it? That's just an irrelevant question, so I'm going to put that at 8. So that's 8 plus 21, which is 29 so far. You're doing great, doing great. This guy, this is the best thing ever. This just, I mean, everything is wrong. Everything is scientifically wrong, philosophical. Oh, he didn't introduce philosophy really yet, but everything he said is wrong. It's great. It's just like here's things that are wrong. Everything is wrong. That's it. Everything I say is wrong on this thing. That's what I'm gonna do. It's like he set out to make a thing that was completely wrong. 29. This is the third slide. 29 logical fallacies so far. Yeah, and I might have lost count at some point, but we're not done. We're not done. I mean, I'm not done. You might be done. If you want to be done, you can be done anytime you want. You can always come back later because this will be it's a thing. That's a thing I'm doing. So I don't know, man. Okay? Wait, here we go. Hold on. Wait. Oh no. Wait. Hold on. Wait. Is that did I? Am I in the right screen or not? I don't know. What am I doing? There we go. Paint. Okay. Jeez. Okay. But I did see something in chat that I wanted to address. Is God real? No. Thanks for asking. Was over at tacos. Kurt sucks at debating, and a precept trying it on everything. Okay. Cool. Anyways, all right. Back to this. Theological. I mean, every time he says theory, that's just wrong. So that just adds. We could add a number for every time he said that too, or wrote that. But it's too late now, so we're not going to do that. Teleos, so teleological is goal, destination. Every effect, there must be a cause. Well, yes, and also, well, you don't. There's a problem here. See, this is true locally. This is true locally in our localized universe as far as we have observed. Now, I don't know how much of the universe we've observed. I would say, like, let's say that this is the universe, right? Like, we've maybe observed like a little tiny dot. Like, I don't even know if there's an estimate of that, like, out there or something. Like, let's just see. What percentage of the universe have we observed? Let's see. Do we even know that? Like, about 5%. Okay, I think it's less than that, but okay. That's what AI thinks. Okay, so about 5%. Okay, so yeah, very little bit. So it could be that cause and effect doesn't work in the other parts of the universe. I'm not saying that that's the case. I'm just saying that it could be. But what we do know for sure, if Big Bang cosmology is the correct way that things came to be, and it might not be, if you go back to the hot, dense state where the universe is really small and really, really hot, you get to this temperature of Planck temperature. It's the hottest things are. And when it's really, really super hot, you don't have physics anymore. And when you don't have physics, you can't do physics anymore because there are no molecules, there's no atoms, it's too damn hot. And so in a universe like that, cause and effect, who knows? And so we just don't know. It's a giant firewall of no idea. And so we cannot make the statement, the universal statement, that everything has cause and effect. We can only say that what we know about today has cause and effect, but we can't say that it's always been that way, at least far back into the past, nor can we say it's true of the entire universe because we don't know about the entire universe. So either way you want to go, you have made a statement that you cannot possibly hope to know is true. Thus, it is a lie. It is not true. or at best would be like a half truth. So I'm going to call that a half truth. I'll go easy on him, you know. So, but that still adds +1 to our total count. Most scientists believe the universe began in some point in the past. No, I'm just going to say no to that, because no scientist believes that, and what they believe wouldn't matter. It's what they can show would matter. Must logically means there must have been a cause. Well, since that was wrong, this is an outright lie, by the way. So this is a lie. So it's going to be 2. Cause must have been this and this and this and this and this and this. These are all asserted without any argument. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6, 7. So we've got 8 more fallacies here. Okay, is seeing believing. Has anyone ever seen something come from nothing? Well, that's irrelevant, and no one says that it came from nothing. So that's not a claim that anyone makes. So this is a pointless question. It's a loaded question. And since it's a loaded question, that counts as a fallacy. So that's 9. Has anyone ever seen order come from an explosion? That's not what the Big Bang is. So that's a malformed question and a loaded question. And so that's 11 now. You know. Has anyone seen mind and mortality come from matter? Yes, all the time. Yes. So not sure what that was. Has anyone seen the personal come from the non-personal? Yes. Every time somebody is born, we see that every single time, because the non-personal sperm and egg create the human, or other animals for that matter. Has anyone seen life come from non-life? No, but irrelevant. So I'm going to call that irrelevant, and I'm going to add that to the total. And then he says, how much blind faith would these 5 miracles require? What miracles? There are no miracles here. So this is a loaded question and a malformed question as well. So that's what, 14. So we add 14 to the total. So that's like 30. Oh, God. No, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 3, carry the 1, 2, 3, 4. So 43. I think that's the right number. I can't do math. So let me know if I got that wrong. All right. Thank you. Math, no, he knows. He's the math physics nerd. He would know I was right. Okay, cool. So 43 logical fallacies so far, most of which have been just bald assertions or complete utter lies or half truths or just complete. This is a bad presentation. No wonder he has comments off. Am I done? I mean, I guess I could be done. You know, but. Oh, you have a calculator? Oh, okay. Well, but you know, you're the math guy, so I mean, you would know. No, I'm not done. I'm not done because I want to hurt this video more. I want to make this video feel pain. Because I found it and I don't like it, and I want to hurt it. I want to hurt this video. Just put the hurt on it. Okay. Well, this is gonna be bad. Oh man, this is gonna be bad. Oh, this is gonna be really bad. Oh man, this is gonna be just really bad. Oh man, feel like Asmund Gold. It's just bad, man. It's gonna be really bad. I disagree with this. I don't know if I can't really imitate that guy. Anyways, all right. Let me make myself small here. Okay. Why would I put my faith in a particular religion or book, especially Christianity and hypocritical Christians? Well, it's not Christians that you're putting your faith in. It would be the religion. But why would you put faith into anything? Should be the question. Is faith a good way to know if things are true or false? Would be a good question. And if the answer is no, then why would you have faith at all? Why wouldn't you research it? Why wouldn't you have knowledge of it? Why wouldn't you know that if it was true? Why would you have to have faith for anything? Why can't you have facts? So yeah, I wouldn't. So don't. So but this is proposed as a question. And I would say I wouldn't, but I'd also say this is kind of a malformed question because of this part. And in fact, you wouldn't have to say especially because that seems to be like a poisoning of the well or something to me. Like you're saying, like, especially this thing. So it's like poisoning of the well against yourself, like, sort of. I don't know. It's kind of weird. So I'm going to call it poisoning of the well. Fuck it. I don't care. I'm doing this logical analysis. You can tell me if I'm wrong later. All right. So, but this is a loaded question for sure. Let's just call it loaded question. We'll call it malformed as well because you know what? He just can't. This is just, it doesn't make sense to have that, and it doesn't make sense to have that. We'll just say, why should I put my faith? Why should I have faith? In fact, you could just say that. So this whole thing is malformed. So yeah, that's two more. Whatever. We should not put our faith into religion. I agree. Okay. We should not put our faith into Christianity. I agree. We should not put our faith into Christians. I agree. We should not put our faith into the Bible. I agree. We should put our faith in Jesus Christ alone. Why? But the only place that Jesus Christ appears is in the Bible. And he's talked about by the Christians in the religion. So there is no Jesus Christ to put my faith into. Why would I put my faith into this person? The question should have been up here is, why should I put my faith in Jesus Christ? Which you didn't answer. Do you believe the Bible is reliable? Hell no, I don't. No. In fact, not even do I believe, I know that the Bible is not reliable in any way, shape, or form. So, I don't know. I mean, we had loaded malform. I don't know. I agreed with all these statements. But then he makes this bold assertion. So that's another logical fallacy. He only had 3 on this one. Not bad. Not bad. So we're just, that's 43 plus 3. If we put 3 backwards, that's 48. But that's not how we do math. We add 3 plus 3 to get 6. But if we did do it that funny way, then it would be 48. But that's not the real number. So, not bad. I thought that would be worse. I really did. But not bad, But I love just asserting that you should just do this. Yeah, just believe. Yeah, just believe in the lobsterist. Why? Because, lobsters. Why not? I could read the lobsters. Captive Desk already did that for me on April 1st, and I appreciate him for that. Wow, just nonsense. This is just bad. Everything about this is bad. This is. I mean, I guess it could be done. And 46. How many? Oh, there's 17 minutes worth that we've covered basically, and it only took me 53 minutes. So if we kept going, we'd be here for like what, 5 hours maybe? I don't know. Yeah, don't put faith in what the Bible says about Jesus. Got it, right. Which then would mean you couldn't put your faith into Jesus because everything about Jesus is in the Bible. So then how could you put your faith into Jesus if you're not putting your faith into the Bible? It doesn't make any sense. We shouldn't believe the Bible. The Bible is written by people. And it's written as an all-seeing narrator too, and it's written it's written to make Jesus conform to prophecies that they thought he needed to fulfill because they desperately wanted their guy to be a Masonic person. They wanted Jesus to be God. They made Jesus into God. Whether he started out that way or not, no idea. I don't think he did. I don't even know if he existed, to be honest. I don't think you needed Jesus. You just needed somebody saying that there was somebody like Jesus. And in fact, the name change is there because Mary was told to name him one name, and that's not his name. Like, what went wrong there? I don't know, but yeah. Anyone else see that trailer with Nick Cage, the Carpenter's son? Looks great, man. I'm going to watch that movie and hate watch it so hard. Or I might enjoy it. I don't know. But I'm definitely going to watch the movie. And I'm going to review it on the side thing and the thing. Are we done with this video? I mean, I guess. I don't know. Let's just go one more slide. Let's just see. let's put the finishing touches on this. Wait, he's saying stuff. The screen is blank.
Source of validation. There's evidence that is historically accurate. Number
No, there isn't.
two, the Bible is written by too many people. This is a very common objection.
I don't think anybody makes that objection, actually. So no.
Be really clear. The Bible has only one author, and that's God.
Well, so you say that's your assertion, but God didn't actually write anything down, except to Moses. Supposedly, God wrote the Ten Commandments twice to Moses, and they changed them. So, yeah, God wrote 20 different things, however many words those were on those stone tablets. So God did write that, but nothing else.
There were, however, 40 contributors, which makes it even more reliable.
I love it. The having more people work on one thing makes it more reliable, not less. Is it 40? I thought it was more than that. I don't know. Whatever. I mean, I don't care. Oops. What am I doing here?
There were 39 Jews and one non-Jew. Kings, shepherds, fishermen, poets, prophets, and ex-cons, spanning over 1,500 years, 3 continents, and 3 different languages.
That sounds impressive when you say it like that, but we don't know who wrote any. I don't think that it's known who wrote what parts of the Bible at all. They're all anonymous. We don't know. No signatures on any of it. It's all traditional beliefs about who wrote it. The first 5 books are attributed to Moses by the Jews, broadly speaking, even though Moses never existed. And then New Testament, nobody knows. So that's a complete lie. So yeah, this is just, if it's written by one person, would you trust it? It doesn't matter how many people write a thing. That doesn't make something true or false. The amount of people that contribute to a work doesn't make it more true. This is just silly. I don't know if you guys can see this. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh man. Let's see. Come on. Let's oops. I went too far. Hold on. Let me go back. Oh wow. I skipped something here. Now I've done it. Now I've really fucked everything. Now this is wait. Okay. Wait, what?
Full of the source in the first place, like in the Bible, the theology, using even the.
Wait a minute. What happened to the thing I was? Huh? I'm so confused. What happened? I don't know what happened here. I clicked the thing and then. Oh. I don't know. Okay, so let's see. We'll do this one, and then that will be it. We'll be done with this after this one here. Let me get this in here. Hold on. We're almost there. Let's see. Where is it? Let me get this here. All right. Is the Bible a fairy tale? Well, it's a mythology. So, this is kind of a loaded, malformed question. I don't know. Well, you know what? We'll go easy on it. No, it's myth. Is it historically sound? Nope. Archaeologists have used the Bible to locate buildings, people, kings, and civilizations. No, they haven't. Nope. Because the Bible doesn't give you locations of anything. It tells you that certain places existed. They happen to find places that the Bible talked about. But that doesn't mean that the Bible is historically sound. So this is extraordinary equivocation. And so no, they haven't used the Bible to locate it. they used archaeology to locate it, and the Bible talked about those buildings. So that's just not true. I'm not even going to say half truth on that one. That's just a lie. So that's one. All right, written by too many people, has one author God. This was a just asserted bald assertion. So that's two. This question is irrelevant. Just so I guess that's three. Bible's too old. The Bible is the most preserved. That's questionable. And distributed text in all humanity. Survived regions and empires tried to burn it, ban it, just bury it. So, like, the 25K biblical manuscripts dwarfs the number of writings of Caesar, Galileo, and others. So, how many years have to pass handwritten manuscripts become untrustworthy? Less than one. Minus 1 year. In fact, I would say immediately. Handwritten, I don't care who writes it or whatever. I'm like, it's instantly untrustworthy when you're making up shit. Anyone can make up a story and write it down. Like you're treating this like it really happened, and it didn't. It just, you want to believe that it did, but how do I know that the person that wrote it down didn't just make it up? That's the problem. This whole thing is a story. It's not something I can confirm as real, more so because it talks about events that are unnatural, that are mythological in nature. So it reads from an all-seeing narrator's point of view. Now, some have said, like, some people that understand history better than I do, like, have talked about that people in that time period maybe wrote that way. But then I've heard other historians say, no, there weren't that many people that wrote that way. So, like, this is but it's written from, like, an all-seeing narrator. Like, Jesus goes to the desert alone, but, like, how are we following Jesus? And here's the problem. Like, who's taking notes when Jesus is talking? Like, he says a lot of stuff. Who's taking notes as he's walking and talking? This one dude just, like, because literacy was, illiteracy was rampant. So being literate was very rare. But one dude would have had to be right there on top of him, writing down everything he said and did. Right? Unless he's just remembering it and then going to write it when he gets home. Now we have the problem of memory. And then if none of them can write, then we have the problem of them having to tell that story to somebody else who writes it down. And the problem is that writing, that first writing, is not preserved. We don't have that. It died. It went into dust. So we have a copy of that. We don't even have that copy, though. Or the copy of that copy, or the copy of that copy, or the copy of that copy, or the copy of that copy. We have, like, we don't even know how many copies out we have. Now you might think that's, they had a photocopy machine back then. No, they didn't. They had a person that would write down the thing, to look at the thing, write it down. And you might think, well, those people were paid to do that. Surely they did a good job. Well, I don't know. Since they were among the few people that were literate, who's checking on them? So, and if they say, I don't like that, who's to say they left something out or added something that they wanted added? You have, and then you have years between the events and when we finally know for sure that we have a written copy. But it doesn't matter to me how many years passed, but it was a lot. I think 5 years, like the smallest, maybe 10, I don't know. But still, a year is a lot of time. But it doesn't matter. Even if you had no years, Joseph Smith made up an entire Bible, and people believed him. People believed him. Because people could believe stories. So I have no doubt that somebody somewhere told this story enough times so that somebody somewhere else would write it down. And it was really popular, and people really liked the story. And people started believing the story. And none of these people had to actually exist for any of that to get started. It just took one person to tell the story and one other person to think that that story was true, and then it spreads. Especially, and weirdly, perversely enough, if you try to lock down a religion, it actually makes the religion more popular many times, because now it's like, ooh, it's taboo. Ooh. You know, it reminds me of like YouTube said, way back when during COVID, they were like, oh, we can't talk about that it's from a lab. Can't say that on YouTube. And I'm like, well, then it's definitely from a lab. I mean, you telling me not to say this? Well, that's definitely the answer now. So you're just like, hey, don't follow that religion. It's against the law. Well, now I need that. Must be the true religion. Now I really want to join it. This is ridiculous. Okay, what else? I hear from people on the internet there's so many interpretations. Well, whether you hear it from people on the internet or not, there are many interpretations. It has been mistranslated. That's true. And it's been altered. Yes. Discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls have proven the alteration claimed to be false. No, that's not true, because it's been altered many times since the Dead Sea Scrolls. And it continues to be altered. Modern translations of the Bible are nothing like the Dead Sea Scrolls. So this is just a lie. Can any historical event be described with different words but come to the same conclusion? Huh? Yes? What? This is weird. Are the Messianic prophecies even relevant? 300 plus Messianic prophecies, blah, blah, blah. No, the Jews don't believe that Jesus fulfilled any of them. So that doesn't matter. Mathematical odds that he would do that is whatever. Doesn't matter, because he didn't fulfill any of them. The Jews don't see the prophecies that Christians believe in are not the prophecies that the Jewish people believe in. So, and Jesus didn't fulfill them, because he fulfilled things that weren't actual prophecies. And of course, he didn't actually fulfill any of that, because he's just written as a character that's made up after the fact. So whoever's writing about him is like, hey, that's a thing that Jesus needs to do. Let's have him ride on 2 donkeys at the same time. Anyways, that's at least 4. So we add that plus 6. Oh, good. We got a nice even number of 50. Good. That seems good. 50 logical fallacies and 2, or was it 3? I don't know. It's like 2 formal fallacies. There you go. This fucking argument's broken. All right. So I've been listening to this guy on YouTube, and I'm trying to set up an interview with him. But he goes on TikTok, and he tells people there's no God, and to tell him he's wrong, and to prove they're God to him. And the amount of stupid people. His name is Evidence First. I don't know if you've seen this guy's channel or not. It's not for everybody. He is kind of rude, and that's his thing. Nope. No shame in that. It's fine. I'm not. I think there's room enough for everybody, every tactic out there. But he's rude, but only when they're rude. He's rude when people are stupid, which is a lot. These people are coming in and saying the dumbest of things I've ever heard. This one person's like, it's all true. Everything's true. All the faiths are true. Like, what the hell are you talking about? People come in just trolling them. It's just a lot of stupid. But this one guy came in. He didn't understand the burden of proof at all. Like, he's like, look, I'm saying there, I'm not saying that there's no God. You're saying there's a God. You have to prove that there's a God. And he's like, well, what's the point here? Like, aren't you saying there's no God? Like, no, I'm not. It's like, well, why are you asking me to prove it? Because because I want you to prove it. If you believe it's true, you should be able to prove it. Like, no, you don't have to do it. You don't have to do anything if you don't want to, but then why should anyone believe you? But it's so sad that people don't even know how to explain why they believe in anything. They don't understand informal logic at all. They have not studied it even a little bit. Not only that, but they also seem ignorant on basic science. And I just go, man, what happened? Like, is this the education system's fault? Is it society's fault? Are people just stupid? Is this just TikTok? I don't know. But it worries me. It worries me deeply. And, you know, I can only encourage us to learn informal logic and to teach it as best you can and all that. You know, the next generation might very well be screwed. But, you know, it only takes a few people to drag the train forward, I guess. And I suppose we'll get forward, you know, faster if there was more of us, but sadly there's not. And this other guy came on and he was like, I didn't look that deep into it. And I'm like, well, why not? Why not go deep? Like, why would you be happy with a surface level understanding? And a lot of these people have no idea what the holy books say that they're supposed to have read. They have no idea. They just go, oh yeah, you know, there's prophecies and stuff, or they're just repeating what pastors have said. They're repeating what they heard in the pulpit, or they're repeating what apologists have said. Now, I suspect that church attendance has declined a lot, and religion as a whole is declining. And you might think that's a good thing, and it is, but also what we're getting now is stupid believers, like just dumb. They still believe, it's just they don't go to church anymore. So the best that they have is like some videos or stuff that they see online, and then they're just copying what the apologist says, or they're copying what some website says. So that's scary. So it's up to us, those skeptics, the atheists, the non-believers, to keep putting out real information, logic, asking the critical questions. Hey, what's God? I don't know. What do you think God is? And why do you think that? And why do you believe that? Let's educate each other. Hey, I love to challenge myself. I ask you guys, girls, and robots out there, challenge me all the time. I want that. I want to know if I'm wrong, because then I learn. And, you know, I want to keep learning. And I don't want to be ignorant. So that's my thoughts on that, I suppose. And I think I'm going to read another thing from my blog to end this stream. So this is this. I'd rather die and be wrong. This one's hard, but all. Someone very near and dear to me said the phrase, I'd rather die and be wrong about God than die without belief and be wrong. And as a skeptic, that phrase stuns me. I don't even know what to say. The logic of it is plain to me, but not to the person that said it. It's a belief that they hold. In fact, they believe several things. God exists, there's an afterlife, and God cares that you believe in it and will reward you with the afterlife only if you do believe in it. There's more things, but at least those things. There's about 8 billion people in this world. Out of them, about 3 billion are Christian. So that means about 5 billion people will not get this reward because they picked the wrong belief, if one can even pick a belief. Why? Well, I asked. They said simply the rules that they picked. That's it. It's just how the universe, it's just how the maker of the universe made the rules. God makes no sense. I think that leads to a video I did or something. Yes, it does. Why? Because why? But just because. I don't believe in an afterlife. It doesn't mean I do not believe in an afterlife. That doesn't mean I believe there is one. Huh? What? I wrote that weird. Although I should have said I don't know if there is or isn't one. Oh, I doubt there is. My belief isn't relevant to whatever happens to be the truth. But my word, I don't like the idea of death for sure. I mean, I'm used to existing. I'd like to do it for a while. How long? No idea. Depends. But the idea that God would make it so only a limited amount of people would get in is absurd to me. The idea that God, I can understand that, but something that made a rule set the limited number of people based on belief? Nah, no. I don't know what words to say to negate this belief. I do not want to die, but it will happen one day. And I'd rather have the truth, whatever it is, than a belief without evidence. And God simply has no evidence for it. A God that requires you to believe in it just to get in is not a good God. And perhaps God isn't good, but then why say it is? And faith has its hooks into this dear person I love, and sadly, logic cannot make it past this idea, at least not for now. Now, I'm going to edit that at some point here and do that off screen. All right, I'm going to edit that so that I don't remember. Be wrong. There it is. Okay. Anyways, so that's it for today or tonight. And maybe something I said made you think about something. I don't know. Let me know if I said anything incorrect or in error or pushed back on whatever. Maybe you've read my blog and you just never told me that you read it. Let me know if you read it. I'd like to know. I'd like your input. I love your input. I value you. I value your time and energy. I value our interaction with each other. You can email me, deconvertedman1@gmail.com, about anything. I'll keep it confidential between us. Talk about whatever you want. We do something live, set that up, you know. I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy understanding people, and I try to do my best to do that by using logic and reason. So I hope you do as well. Until next time, be skeptical, and after next time, be a lobster. And there's Robin Hood, just as I'm about to end the stream. Oh, well, sorry, Robin. You'll have to go back to the start and watch from the start to know what I said. But, you know, that's all for now. Finn.